Thank you very much. You left an awful lot out of that introduction. However, it's a pleasure to be here. First of all, I've gotten 1 minute to speak. 1 minute, 60 seconds. That's what I was allowed. And I can tell you that I don't want the 10 seconds that I'm going to say now taken from my 60. I think that Pat Conley deserves a big round of applause for the way he keeps this organization together all these years. And also the board of directors who work tirelessly to put this event on every year that commemorates Rhode Islanders who have made significant contributions. And thank you very much for being here, for preserving the history of the state of Rhode Island. Today, it is my opportunity to introduce to you a man who is no stranger to you. Anthony Quinn, who was my friend, who made Rhode Island his home, is buried here. And obviously did a lot of public service while he was here. And he was the kind of a friend that you never forget. He was a mentor, he was a wonderful contributor to the state of Rhode Island, and certainly deserves to be in this great group of individuals who are members of this Heritage Hall of Fame. I think I'm almost up to a minute. But I want to say that Kathy Quinn, his widow, could not be here tonight because it's his 100th anniversary, and she's on the West Coast at a film festival at the Anthony Quinn Institute or Library there, along with a lot of other celebrations that are taking place this year in his honor. But he was not only a great painter, but a sculptor, and also a great actor. And I remember one time we had the city of Florence here, all the dignitaries, and we had a Splendor of Florence, and he came to the party. When he walked in, everybody was from Italy. They all stood up and clapped. So he had an international reputation that he brought around the world for the state of Rhode Island. He was truly a Rhode Islander, and I loved him, and I know all of you enjoyed his work. So now I'd like to take just a minute to introduce this video that will depict some of his achievements and accomplishments. I think.
Zorba the Greek, starring Anthony Quinn, may be his best-known film. But for this man who spent his last happy years in Bristol, Rhode Island, there were 100 films dating back to the 1930s, and including Lawrence of Arabia and Requiem for a Heavyweight. Then there were 2 Academy Awards, one for Lust for Life and the other Viva Zapata. Anthony Rudolph Quinn began an 86-year life on April 21st, 1915 in Mexico, his family bringing him to the U.S. shores as a child. He was raised in poverty in East Los Angeles, but he developed an aptitude for art. He entered a national drawing contest, the prize being the chance to study with Frank Lloyd Wright. He won it, and it changed his young life forever. Wright taught Anthony that a good architect must be able to build not the size of a man, but the size of a man's spirit, and he made this his life's motto. His acting career began when he substituted in a local play for an actor who would become ill, and for over 60 years on stage, screen, and television, he became the consummate actor.
When I met him, he was, up until that point, and still to this day, one of the most fascinating people that I had ever met. And I knew that instantly. He was the kind of person that when you met him, he had an intensity about him, and he was intelligent, yet he was humble. And when he laughed, his whole body laughed with him. I mean, he laughed through every pore in his body.
Anthony lived a colorful life all over the world. He fathered 13 children with 5 women. He met his last wife, Catherine, when he was 70 and she was 23. She was hired as his assistant in New York City and eventually became his last wife. In 1994, he, Catherine, and their 1-year-old daughter Antonio moved to Bristol. 2 years later, their son Ryan was born.
He wasn't a womanizer, and he never ever made, it wasn't the type of, he didn't come off as a flirt. We worked together. He wanted a partner in, help me set up this studio so that I can paint, because all I want to do is work without being bothered.
During his 7 years in Rhode Island, he involved himself in fundraisers and cultural events. His performance in the reenactment of a notorious trial kicked off the restoration of the historic Bristol County Courthouse.
He really cared for the people here, and he cared for the beauty, most of anything.
Anthony Quinn died in a Boston hospital in June 2001. He had made it known that he wanted to be laid to rest on his estate in Bristol. His wish was granted, and our wish that he be inducted into the Rhode Island Heritage Hall of Fame has now come true.
And you can still see his works at his estate in Bristol, which is a museum right now. Now it's my authority, by the authority conferred to me by the Board of the Heritage Hall of Fame, I hereby induct into the Heritage Hall of Fame Anthony Quinn, so deservedly. And right now I'd like to introduce to you a little boy, not a little boy anymore, a boy I've known since he was born, and Anthony Quinn's son. His name is Ryan Nicholas Quinn. He lives in Rhode Island. He attended Portsmouth Abbey High School, and he now attends Emerson College in Boston, where, what do you think he studies? Film.
Thank you, buddy. I'm proud and honored to accept this award on my father's behalf. Thank you to Buddy Cianci, who nominated my father for this award. You were his first and best friend when he came to Rhode Island. He saw Rhode Island as a place where he could unleash his creativity, where he could be inspired by the beauty and the peaceful nature surrounding him. I'd also like to thank Dr. Pat Connolly for honoring my father here tonight. And congratulations to the other honorees. My father would have been proud to know that his legacy lives on through the Anthony Quinn Foundation, and I hope that in my lifetime I can accomplish half as much as he did.
You did a good job. You did a good job. I'm going to be leaving.